Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Abby and I really enjoy knitting, a little bit of crocheting, and just fiber arts in general. Today we are not doing a Whip Wednesday because it is not Wednesday for me. I don't know when I'll post this, maybe it'll be Wednesday for you guys, but for me it is Tuesday, July 1st, crazy, and I will be out of town for the next 2 Wednesdays. Visiting my parents, so I will not be making any Whip Wednesdays for 2 weeks, which is really bad because I told myself that I'd make them starting 2 weeks ago every week and post them, but here we are. Other pre-made plans got in the way. I will give you a quick whip update and another surprise finished object. Starting with the surprise finished object, FO, I made this like kid size hat. I had this acrylic yarn, which is pretty soft, but it is acrylic yarn and it's not really something that I reach for all the time. I just had it laying around, and near me, I'm in Philly, and in the winter there's usually children's clothing drives for warm clothing, and I thought that I would make all of my like nicer acrylic yarn into little hats. I think this one's really cute, little like candy cane stripes depending on how you fold it. I was intending for this to be a teen size hat. It could be, but it could also be a child size hat, and I think it's pretty cute. That's it. I'm planning on making more of these out of more yarn, but I will update you on that at the end of the video when I tell you my future plans. But yeah, 1 finished object this week. Then I do need to update you on this whip, even though all of my other ones are already packed in a suitcase and ready to be flown off with me to my parents' house. The keyhole scarf I completely unwound into these balls, and for 2 days I've been slowly knitting on it, so I've made some pretty good progress. I was afraid if I waited 2 weeks to tell you, we would be back at the point where I had it originally, and you wouldn't believe me that I made any progress on it because it looks pretty much the same. I just decreased by 20 cast-on stitches so that hopefully it'll be long enough when I finish it. If not, I might just get a little bit more of the Cascade yarn in either one of these colors and finish it, but hopefully this will be enough. So that's my whip update. I don't think I've shown you, but my parents, when they went on a little road trip, got me these really fun Sasquatch themed stitch markers. Some of them have like mountains and forests on them too, but this one's just Sasquatch. I think it was a pack of 6, and I love them. They fit up to a US 7 4.5 millimeter needle. They don't quite fit on my US 8s, but that's okay. I usually knit smaller gauge things, which of course you won't believe me after what I show you today, but I do like knitting more fingering weight to DK weight or like tightly packed worsted weight items. So these fit on most of the needles that I use. We'll set this off to the side and my plant can drown in yarn just like me. I also thought that we'd go through my 2 sweaters that I've completely finished for myself because I haven't really done an introduction to my knitting on this channel yet, and I'm kind of like having all of my ideas and just like combining them into one. I have 2 sweaters that I knit for myself, and I also finished a sweater for my boyfriend. I don't have that one, it's with him, but I do have my 2 that I knit for myself. My first one is this fall Bluff sweater by Lillis. It's in the recommended yarn, which was Lion Brand Thick and Quick. in the color Hazelwood, which under the fluorescent lights looked kind of purple. Now it's just gray. I do think it's a little bit ugly. It's a little bit lumpy. I'm not putting it on for you because it is still really hot here in Philly, but I did get, I think, 2 wears of it after I finished it. It's comfy. I don't really care if I spill stuff in lab on it. It's a good outer layer if it's not going to rain or snow. It is 100% acrylic because it was my first sweater and I wanted to make sure that I could like commit to a full sweater before I bought expensive yarn and like natural fibers to do it. But yeah, did that. You can see that I didn't know any sewn bind off, so I just did like the regular bind off on the needle. I left all of the factory knots in it because I was feeling pretty lazy. I'm sure that'll come back to bite me later, but we ignore that for now. Overall, really great first sweater. For me, it gave me confidence to jump into something that I'd like more, and if I really want to later, I might do double stitch and put some sort of like pattern on the front so it's less of a just block of gray. Fold that and put it away, and then immediately after this, I actually knit this sweater for my stuffed bear. It's pretty cute and it's self-drafted. I did badly on figuring out the body to sleeve ratio, but we completely ignore that because this is a stuffed bear. It doesn't matter that much. But after I did this, I did my boyfriend's sweater. Yes. And then after that, I immediately said, okay, and my boyfriend's sweater was the winter Bluff pullover, which is a worsted weight instead of this chunky weight for the fall Bluff sweater, but it's still a raglan. And after that, I said, actually, I'm done with doing easy stuff. I'm going to go pull out the big guns, and I did a fingering weight colorwork sweater as my 3rd sweater ever. I'm very proud of it. I will not tolerate any mean comments about it. And here it is. This is the CatKnit sweater by Andrea Rangel, or I'm not sure if that's how you say her name. That's my best guess. I thought this was so cute. It had just come out, I think, when I decided to knit it. And I did like almost inverse colors, but I did this really deep Prussian blue color from Holzgarn Super Soft with their ecru color for the cats. And I think it actually looks really good in this lighting. I think it's the only thing that's going to look good in this lighting. But yeah, it's really cute. It's slightly too itchy to put directly on my skin. It's a much better like overlayer when I have like a t-shirt or something on under it. But I did like German short row shaping in the back. I actually followed the sleeve decreases on this. It turned out a little bit lumpy after I started wearing it and my elbow like started pushing against the fabric, but that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. But yeah, I'm very proud of this one. And that is all of my finished sweaters. I've been working on the Billy pullover, the Billy pullover by Sari Nordland for quite a while. And I have plans. I have little ideas for what other sweater projects I want to knit. And I also have the cardigan project. That's kind of just like an update on introducing you to my previous knits and my current knits. For the rest of it, I thought that it would be really fun if we went over what yarn I have in my stash here. I think calling it a stash is a lot. a lot of it's either leftovers or accidental or things that people gave to me because they know that I do fiber arts, and they were like, somebody had this yarn, and I was like, okay, better than going in the trash. Or they were gifts, which are really nice, but I just haven't like decided what to do. And I know I have more of it when I go home. So I was thinking that I would do what I have here right now, and I plan to bring all of my yarn from home back here. So when I get back from my trip to my parents, I'll go over what else I have, and then I'll still have posted a video weekly, even if it wasn't Whip Wednesday. So first, we'll start with, I have a box that's almost empty, a box that's kind of full but smaller, and then under this plant is like one of those like black plastic things, you know, with the clear drawers that you pull out that are like cheap organizing things. I found it on the street. I gave it a good wipe down. It was in pretty much perfect condition. Carried it 1.5 miles home one day and went, this is where I'm going to put a lot of my yarn from now on. So I'll also be leaning down and pulling out some yarn from here to show you guys. So there's only 2 things in this box. One of them is this lace weight like faux mohair. I think it does have some mohair in it, and the rest of it is polyester. I did buy this somewhat recently. I want to say like in February, but I instantaneously, no, I might have bought it in December. Regardless, I instantaneously took the like wrapper off of it, the tag, and lost it. So I don't know what it is. I know it's 200 grams, so it should be enough if I want to make the Cumulus blouse, but it's really pretty like itchy. It's not very nice on my skin. Actually, it's not as bad as I remember. I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of it. I haven't used any of it. I was going to just pull from both ends and make the Cumulus blouse, but we'll see what I end up doing with it. I do think the colors are really pretty. I got it and I was gonna make it, and I was going to make it like a size up from what I normally wear, which is like between what me and my mom wear, because then if I knit it too big, she can have it, and if I knit it too small, I can have it. Because quite honestly, I probably won't gauge swatch because I don't care about this project that much. And again, if I knit it one size up from what I normally wear and knit it too big, my mom can have it, and if I knit it too small, I can have it. And I think that that's a pattern that she would like, and I think that she would wear these colors, and I would also wear these colors. So that's yarn number 1. Yarn number 2 is this cone of the Prussian Holzgarn Super Soft. I bought this as a cone because it was going to be, I think, $10 cheaper than buying like individual balls of yarn. But now I have at least a sweater's quantity of fingering weight yarn in Prussian blue left, and I just don't have, I don't know if I have the willpower right now to do any other fingering weight sweater, and I think I would want to do it in color work again, just because this is such a deep blue color. It just, I couldn't do cables on it. I don't think you'd be able to see them. I think even if I hold it up to the camera, you can only like, yeah, you can start to see the individual strands, but that's about it. It was kind of rough on my fingers to knit. I have hair all over it, but yeah, you know, that's what happens. It was kind of rough to knit. There are a lot of like inclusions in it. Like you can maybe see here. No, you can't see at all. But there's like a lot of little hay bits in it, which I find a little bit in other yarns, but not as much. I feel like every couple feet there's like a little hay bit that you have to like pick out of this one, which is fine. It was pretty cheap yarn. I really like the finished project after I blocked my CatKnit sweater, so I can't complain. But this isn't on my current like to use immediately inventory. It's just like a thing that I know that I have, and it'll probably sit for a while until I get another colorwork idea that I want to use Prussian blue for. All right, that was kind of my first box of random stuff yarn. You also have to excuse my hair right now. My hairbrush is also packed, and it is raining and humid and hot outside today. And I went on an apartment tour because I'm moving soon, and my hair was under my raincoat hood, so it's giving drowned rat, but you have to ignore it. All right, on to my second box of yarn. I never like fully unpacked this since I moved, but there are like different things in here than there originally were. And I'm going to drop them immediately. So we'll start with this. This is just some leftover Can See sock yarn in Sock Star in the color Pinky Peachy Pop, which I got on sale when I first learned Joann's was going to close, RIP, and I knit a full pair of socks out of it. They turned out just a tiny bit too small, but I think I left a long tail on both of them so I can lengthen them in the toe a little bit. But that's not a right now problem, that's a later problem. They are packed up and in storage at my grandmother's house until after I move, because I have a lot of stuff and she has a lot of space, and it works out for me to just leave a couple of boxes of things instead of moving them all in one weekend to a new apartment. But out of this, I wanted to make those little sweaters, like the mini sweater ornament things. I thought that one of my friends who's really into like Barbie and stuff might like those if I made like a set of like 6 to 10. I'm not sure how many I can get out of this, but you know, maybe 6 for like Christmas ornaments, because she moved into her own studio recently and I think that she would really enjoy that. So that's my plan for the remainder of this yarn. I do think that there is enough for another pair of socks, but I don't think that there's that much for the potentially intentionally lesbian flag, pride flag colored sock in stripes. I don't know. I think it would look better as a bunch of mini sweaters on a Christmas tree, is what I'm saying. So that's that. I also have the leftovers from my first sweater, which I think I used 1.5 balls out of the 3 balls that I was recommended to buy for it. And out of the first, like out of the half ball that I had left, originally I made a bunch of hats and I donated them. Like, I'm going to donate the finished one that I did this week, and that might be the fate of the rest of this yarn, because it's acrylic. It'll be super easy to wash if it gets messed up. I think I'll try to do adult, like truly adult size hats out of this, because I don't know, I'd feel bad if for the kid who ended up having to wear this like really boring gray hat. I kind of feel bad for the adult too, but you know, the yarn's got to get used somehow. It's already in existence. maybe I'll come up with something more fun to do with it. I just don't really know what to do with maybe 150 grams of boring, bulky gray yarn. Who knows? That's a later problem. Then this yarn is from the same source as the red, white, and green, like Christmassy yarn, which is my little brother's ex-girlfriend. And he were making like sock gnomes or gnome socks. I don't know. I wasn't there. But she left all of this yarn that I think they were using for like the beards of the gnomes, like at our house, and the answer was always just like, give it to Abby, she'll do something with it, which I will. I think this is 50 grams of 100% acrylic. No, it is 35 grams of 100% acrylic yarn. It is pretty colors. It's nice variegation. You probably can't see the true colors. Nope, that made it worse. But pinks and purples and blues, all pastel, and a little bit of white. I might also make a hat out of this. I don't know if I can quite stretch 35 grams into a full hat. It is also worsted weight. I don't know. I'll figure something out for this. I might have worsted weight white yarn at home. Maybe I'll make another one of this like chunky double held worsted yarn hats out of this. Later problem. As you can see, I'm trying to think of like all the ways to use all of the yarn that I don't really enjoy having around right now. But yeah, that's a later problem. I'm spending too much time thinking in this video. I also have 2 balls of this wool ease, which I also just don't think I'm going to use it. I am going to turn this into hats, probably adult size, because I think adults have less need to wash their hats all the time than like a kid would. And it's nice. It'll be really warm in the winter. Maybe I'll make a scarf out of it, actually. I do have 2 balls of it. We'll see. We'll see what I do out of it. I have 2 of this. They're in the same color. The other one's got a crochet hook in it because I was teaching my boyfriend to crochet. But he has absolutely no interest. It was just like a little fun thing. We were hanging out here. We kind of didn't have any show to watch or anything like that, so I said, you're gonna learn to crochet today. And he said, do I have to? And I said, yeah. So he learned to crochet a little bit. Let's see. This is, I think, the first gift yarn that I'm showing you. This is, I believe, the Lion brand shawl in a ball, which I think was discontinued. And I did try to make a shawl out of this, which is why the wrapper is completely gone and I have no clue where it is. It is really nice. It is really soft. What I would love to do out of this, I saw somebody make a like really thick, like not thick, but like a tall puffy collar vest in like chartreuse mohair, I want to say, on TikTok. And I really liked the pattern, but I can't find the pattern anywhere. So if you know the TikTok that I'm talking about and you know what pattern was used to do it, let me know, because that's what I want to do out of this. I just don't know if I can because I can't find the pattern. It's not really a mohair. I think it is probably also 100% acrylic, but it's really soft. It's got the halo that like mohair normally does. and I think that it would make a really good sweater vest, especially because if it is the 100% acrylic, it won't be like under my armpits, so even if I do sweat in it, I won't be sweating like into it like with most acrylics, if that makes sense. Regardless, I think it's really pretty. This is, my aunt and uncle got this for me when I first started knitting and crocheting 7 years ago, so cute. All right, another ball of mystery yarn. I did not buy this for myself. My best friend in high school had this when I, again, started to knit and crochet 7 years ago, and she said that I could have it and practice on it because she didn't want to use it. I think it's really pretty. It's like teals and greens. She didn't even have the wrap for it at the time. There's really not a lot of stretch to it, so I'm wondering if it's some sort of cotton blend, but I'm really bad at telling what fibers are. I don't want to do a burn test in my apartment. That would just set off the fire alarm. We'd have to evacuate. It'd be a whole mess. We don't want to do that. So for now, I'll continue making little dinosaurs out of this because I make not T-Rexes, Triceratops out of this yarn, and they're really, really cute. I think you can see one on my Ravelry page, but I don't. Yeah, her name was Beatrice, but I gave her to my friend who loves Beatrice dearly, but I do not think that I can get her back from that friend to show you, so you have to look at my Ravelry. We're almost through. So this was another gift from my aunt and uncle. It's comfy cotton, also by Lion Brand. It's also got hair on it. So it was originally 200 grams, but I really, really like making coasters, like circular coasters out of this stuff. It's soft. I'm not sure. No, it's not mercerized cotton or anything. It's just softer than a lot of cotton that I've felt before. I really enjoy it. I would not necessarily wear the colors. I say wearing a coordinating color to this, but I wouldn't make a garment out of it, but it makes really cute coasters. The coasters all turn out pretty similarly because the variegation doesn't each block doesn't last very long, so the coasters all go together in a really nice set. I think I can get like another full set of coasters out of this to give somebody. I already have multiple sets of coasters. On a similar note, I got this Capri Eco Cotton from Michaels because I really wanted some like pinky purple coasters for my room. So I used, I think, almost the first full ball of this, but I was really bad at gauging how much I needed to make a full set of coasters. So I got like 2 sets of 4 coasters, I think, out of that one. And now I just have this whole ball of cotton, which is not enough to make one of my market bags, but I guess I'll probably make more coasters and gift them to people out of this. It's not my favorite to work with. The Comfort Cotton was definitely softer and nicer, but it works just as well for a finished coaster. Okay, we're on to the last full-ish ball of yarn. No, we're completely to the last full ball of yarn in this box, which is this Cascade Pacific. I think my mom got this for me a while ago because I really do like purple yarn. I think it's so pretty, but I don't think I've ever done anything with my purple yarn except for a hat for my brother out of a different ball of purple yarn. And then I finished the rest of the ball of purple yarn that I made the hat for my brother to knit my Blue Bear a sweater. This is 40% superwash merino wool with 60% acrylic, which is it's a fairly nice blend. It makes it really soft. I don't feel like scratchiness at all, even like really right up into my neck. So I do like the yarn. I just don't know what I'm gonna make out of it. I don't need any more purple hats. My family doesn't need any more purple hats. Nobody needs any more purple hats that I know. So I'm gonna have to think of something else. I don't know what weight it is. It looks like probably a worsted or DK weight. Maybe I'll make some really thick socks. We'll see. We'll see what will happen to this. Burning through the stash is a later problem. Then in here I have a lot of scraps. This is scraps from my first colorwork hat, which is at my grandmother's, so you can't see it. This is Heartland tweed scraps from a hat that I made for my dad, which my boyfriend really liked. So I made him a hat out of this hometown. Scraps of the hat and sweater. Can you tell that I have a really hard time getting rid of scraps? But I was going to stuff the little mini sweaters that I was going to make for my best friend for ornaments so that they were like nice and squishy, and maybe her cat would like them as toys. Or maybe I'll throw away the scraps. Unlikely. I also have 2 tags that I'm going to take out of here because I still have the yarn. I just took it off of the balls for whatever reason because it looked prettier. So we're done with my random boxes. Now we're going to go into my semi-organized nice yarn that I'm like not in a rush to use up. So first, in the top we have this Simply Alpaca Tweed, which I'm currently using for my Lakes cardigan. And I have more than one sweater's quantity of this Friends Extra Fine Merino. I don't think they put, it's color 52, which I think is Dusty Rose, but they don't put like the actual name of the color on here. They just put the number. I have 11 of these and it is a sport weight yarn. So I was going to make the sweater number 15 out of it, but then I saw a bunch of other really cute sweaters, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna make out of this. I never ordered this. This came when I ordered 11 balls of a worsted weight yarn, the yarn that I'm using for my Billy pullover. And they sent me this instead, and I opened the package super excited for my blue yarn, and I saw pink, and I saw that it was really, really fine, and I went, this is not the right yarn. Fortunately, they replaced it all for free. It just took a little while, but that's okay. I now have 11 balls of free 100% wool. I'm not going to complain too much about that. So that took up the entire top bin. And then in my bottom bin, I have books, just like regular books, not knitting books. So we won't go into that. But in the middle, we have like a lot of random stuff. So I have 4 full ones of these Drops Saffron that I'm making market bags out of because I hate knitting with cotton and I'm really into market bags right now. It is a fingering weight and this is the color number 12. But you can see it's like a tan beige sort of color. I also, I really packed this tight. Have my leftovers from a hat that I made for my mom, and this is, I think, like Heathered Sky in Scout from Kelborn Woolens. Don't quote me on that color name. It's something like that. It's like this heathered green blue color. It's lighter than it is appearing on camera, but it's really pretty. I really like it. She really liked her hat, so we're both happy, but I think I have probably about 50 grams of the 100 gram skein left, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it's nice. I'll keep it around. We'll see what I do. Then in my order where I got the Prussian blue from Holskarn, I also got, obviously, the like ecru color, the like off-white, and I have probably about a third to a half of that left. I just have so many of these saffron, and they're like rolling around as I try to do other things. Okay, those are gonna fall off the chair, but it's okay. I also got 50 grams of the super soft in almond because I wasn't sure if the ecru or the almond would go better with the blue. And I got this like olive green color. Called Heron, which I just thought was super pretty, and I thought it would go either with the almond or with the ecru, and I could make maybe like color work gloves or something. It is pretty scratchy, but my hands aren't that sensitive, so I think that I could get away with making gloves for myself out of these. And they're also like inexpensive enough that I'm not super worried if I don't end up making anything out of them, you know? Like, it would be nice to, it would be better to not waste the yarn, but also if they just sit, they're small, they're inexpensive, like, it's okay. I was super excited though, because they had these, which are the Holskarn, like, Heya, and I want to make like a fox themed set of gloves out of these. They're super soft, with 70% baby alpaca, 20% mulberry silk, and 10% yak. And I think they'd be super warm. The colors are really nice. I got Foxtail, which is this orange color, and Oyster, which is the gray color. They have a lot fewer color options in this than in the super soft, but that's okay because this is just amazing to feel. I really like it. We'll put these over to the side for a second, but as you can see, I haven't touched them, but I still like took off the labels for whatever reason, but now it'll be a whole mess to put them back on, so we're not going to. Then I went to Mexico City with my parents, and I wanted to get some yarn there, but the yarn selection was honestly kind of depressing. But I got these Circulo, and I believe these are fingering weight, but they're mercerized cotton balls of yarn. I was going to make socks out of them, but then I'd have to hold the elastic with the yarn to make the socks. So that plan went out the window. We'll see what I make with these. They're really new. I really like the colors. I like the colors together. I like the colors apart. I'm happy to have these in my stash, and they're a pretty like recent acquisition this year. Then we have 3 more hanks of gift yarn. These are also from my aunt and uncle. They're these really like pretty green colors. This one kind of depends on the lighting if it looks more blue or green, but they do go together pretty well. And this is organic cotton by Blue Sky Fibers in the colors Jasper and Wasabi. They're pretty. They are a bulky weight. No, they are a worsted weight. It's in the name. I just haven't really figured out what to do with 2 balls of worsted weight cotton. I don't think it'll be an issue. I just haven't figured it out. I might make market bags out of these too, because I think they would look really cute, like contrasting. Like one of them would have like the mesh part be this with the handles of this, and like then the other one would be like mesh with this and then handles with this. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's a later problem too. They're really, really pretty, but they will go back in this drawer for now. And then for the last skein of gift fiber, there's this purple yarn, which is the Malabrigo worsted. Merino wool. I think the color is 97 Quarzo. I never know how to read the Malabrigo tags. I think they're really confusing. I also got this one maybe 5 years ago. My mom gave it to me. I think it's really pretty. I just don't. Again, I don't know what to do with it. It's 100 grams. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Yes, it's 100 grams of yarn. And it's just this like 1-ply yarn, which I do think is really nice. I just haven't really knit with it before. We'll see. I've got to reorganize. Then I had a gift card to this store, and when I bought this yarn, I thought I had the gift card with me, and I did not have the gift card with me. They're both from Loops in Philadelphia, or Loop. No, it's just Loop in Philadelphia, but they're not their brand of yarn, which they do have, and it is really nice. I don't know. I was drawn to these ones. So this is the Malabrigo sock yarn. I could try to look at the tag for the color, but I don't want to. So just know it's 100 grams of Malabrigo sock yarn. And I think it's really pretty. I do plan to actually make socks out of this. It's got like really good stretch to it. It's really soft. I think it'll make really nice fingering weight socks. I want to do either like a ribbed top or just a plain top, and then maybe like lace up the sides of the socks for this. I think it's really pretty. I don't think the camera's gonna pick up like, yeah, you can't really see its full glory in this lighting, but it's got greens, purples, blues, a little bit of red like specked through like a lightly colored / off-white yarn, or yarn base, which is really nice. And then the other one is this. I remember the color is called Petal, and it's another 100 grams of fingering weight yarn. It is 80% merino, 20% silk from Emma's Yarn. Okay, my phone storage is like this close to full. We're going to speed run these next two. What I was saying is this is the color Petal, 100 grams, 80% wool, merino wool, 20% silk, super silky. Yay, we covered it. Gonna make a hat. Gonna make the double hat for me out of this because it's really pretty. And then we have 2 of these Pebble Haze prints from Yarnsmith. And I thought, I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but it turns out that it's this like chain knit thing, and I don't know if I'm into it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I got it for a project. That project fell through because I thought that it was going to be like more twisted. I clearly didn't read the instructions very well. I was just looking at the color and I was like, oh, that's like a nice spring, summer pattern, or not pattern, color, whatever. Fell through. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. It is very soft. I just think that I would sweat to death in this. End of that story. Okay. Hopefully that's all my yarn, because that is all the storage space I have on my phone and all of the power I have on my phone, which when it turned off my video after I was recording for 45 minutes, shockingly, after not charging it all day, I had less than 10%, so who knows when it's actually gonna die. So I gotta get going, I gotta get fully packed, and I gotta go and edit this and put it together, because I've never put together 2 different videos into the same thing before. I need to upload it to my computer, which is going to maybe be a mess. It might kill my phone. We'll see. Anyway, have a good night, have a good week, have a good day. I don't know when this is going up. And, you know, follow if you like the chaos. Follow if you like the absent-mindedness and talking for 45 minutes straight. I was wondering why my voice hurt, but I gotta wrap it up without so much ramble at the end. Anyway, goodbye.